is the United States, and second is the Netherlands. And the Netherlands has more or less the same size as the Kurdistan region in Iraq. So we are very small, but still we are producing and exporting so many vegetables and fruits. And we can only do that because we have a lot of innovation in the Netherlands. And if you look at the Kurdistan region, it is also important that maybe some of those innovations will be transferred to this region, because you have so much land and the land is very fertile. And what you do now at the moment is import a lot of fruits and vegetables from other countries like Iran and Turkey, and you pay a lot for that. The prices are very high, the quality is sometimes not fresh anymore. So why should you do that when you have a lot of land and you can be very innovative to produce your own products? And as the Netherlands, we try to help you by doing so.
Great. Mr. General Consul, thank you very much for the description you gave about Kurdistan and Netherlands as well. I want to ask another question. Agriculture in general in Kurdistan is between families. It's not like, and we don't have infrastructure to deal with agriculture as an industry. You as Netherlands, that you are rich for agriculture, how Kurdistan could develop the sector of agriculture?
Yes, I can understand. In the early days, like in the Netherlands, it was also kind of family business. It was a small scale farmers, just a family business. But if you want to scale up, if you want to produce more, it should be much bigger than only families. And what we've done in the Netherlands is to make the agriculture sector far more professional. And if you make it far more professional, you can make a lot of money out of agriculture. And if the profits are much higher, then you can see that also others are interested to invest in agriculture. So bigger firms are stepping in because then they see that it's a profit-making industry. And by doing so, you can see that not only the small farmers, the family farmers are interested, but also the big industries. And that is a big advantage. What we like to support you here in the Kurdistan region from the Netherlands to help you to make it more professional in the field of agriculture. And in that way, you can produce your own vegetables and fruits, and you don't have to import them from other countries, because that is far too expensive. And also the production and the things you import, it's not fresh anymore. So it's a win-win. And that's why, as the Netherlands, we try to support you by doing so, to make your agriculture sector far more professional than it is now these days.
Great. Mr. General Consul, I'm quite sure that you have a lot of information about agriculture, and perhaps in Kurdistan, the next cabinet is interested in developing the sector of agriculture. We said that we should move a step forward beyond the family business. We should not deal with other family business. Do you think that this is only the job of government and farmers to develop agriculture sector, or we should bring the exports like Netherlands, of course, to help us to develop agriculture in Kurdistan?
Of course you can do it yourself. And of course you have a lot of people who know a lot about agriculture. But for example, the last 2 weeks we had 2 agriculture missions from the Kurdistan region visiting the Netherlands. And what I heard from the governmental specialists in this field, but also from businessmen from Kurdistan visiting the Netherlands, they were so amazed what they encountered in the Netherlands, because they visited farms, they visited flower markets, they visited flower auctions, they visited factories that are really full of innovation products. So they were so amazed to see, and then the Kurdistan government, but also the businessmen from the Kurdistan region, they reacted and said, that is also what we want, and we need to have support from a country like the Netherlands, but it can also be from other countries, because there is so much to win in the agriculture sector, and especially in the field of innovation, because now, for example, you make a lot of use of pesticides, and that is not very healthy for the products you eat. But by innovation, maybe you don't need to use pesticides anymore, and the quality of those products will be even better, far better than the quality is now. So that's why I think, with the support of the Netherlands, but it can also be other countries, it is a big advantage to improve your agriculture sector in the Kurdistan region.
Great, sir. According to the Netherlands, that has a lot of experience in agriculture, and it is also widely known as a rose country. I want to ask you a question. How do you evaluate agriculture in Kurdistan generally?
Yes, I'm living here now for over 1 year in this beautiful Kurdistan region, and I travel a lot. I go to all places within the Kurdistan region. And what I see with my own eyes is that you have a lot of land available for agriculture. And it is not used at the moment. But the land is so fertile. You have really a good quality and a good climate for producing fruits, vegetables, and even flowers. But of course, for that you need a lot of expertise. So you need experts from other countries, like from the Netherlands, to support you by doing so. And you need also a good innovation. You need glass houses, for example. You need to have the knowledge to produce whatever you want to produce. So I think if you look at your different sectors, of course the oil sector is the most important sector for the Kurdistan region. Tourism is also very important. But I think the second largest sector in the field of agriculture is in your country, is still agriculture. So you have to invest in that. And I'm very happy to see that your government is working together with my government to improve this agriculture sector in the Kurdistan region.
Great. Your works here is in the center of Erbil. Have you thought about making your activities to outside, to countryside? As you said, we have wide quality of goods and property here. And now we have some areas like Sharazur and Garmian, which are a touristic place. But if you have not visited there, it is a nice place. How do you think to change move your activities to countryside, not only inside Erbil?
Yeah, we are already active outside Erbil. Of course, in Erbil and outside, a little bit outside of Erbil, we are very active and we work together with Kurdish businessmen, and that's going quite well. But also, for example, in Suleimania, we are also active already and working together with local farmers. But also in Duhok, in Halabja, in Zacho, in all those kind of places, the cities, we are quite active. Of course, the next step is to go to the small farmers. And what we do is to work together with Kurdish farmers, big businessmen, to try to develop big farms in order that small farmers in the region can work together. For example, in Rovia, we are working together with a big entrepreneur in the field of potatoes, and he is going to make French fries and chips. And what he is going to do together with the Netherlands is to involve small farmers to grow their potatoes in order for them to supply this new factory in making chips and French fries. And we support this entrepreneur by doing so. And there are hundreds of people who are able to work on those farms and in the field to supply this entrepreneur with a good quality of potatoes. That is an example what we do as the Netherlands for the Kurdistan region.
Great. Kurdistan in general is good for what kind of fruit? Is it famous for fruits or vegetable or other what kind of agriculture products we can protect from Kurdistan?
That's of course a very good question, and this question is also asked by many farmers and entrepreneurs to my consulate general here in Erbil. And what we say is, if you look at the soil, if you look at what you can produce here in the Kurdistan region, I think that is quite a lot. Of course, you have your famous pomegranate. They are already here, and some companies are already producing it for the internal market. But maybe the quality is so good that you can also maybe export it. But if you look, I mentioned already the potatoes, a very good quality. You have the different vegetables like salads, the leafies. Some businessmen and farmers are already working on that. You have a good quality of apples, you name it, strawberries. So in a way, all this kind of vegetables, all this kind of fruits can be produced here in the Kurdistan region. The only thing is that you need the knowledge and the expertise to make a very good product. And sometimes that is lacking. That is lacking with the farmers, because then they use, for example, too much pesticides, or the quality of an apple or strawberry is not that good in order to sell it on the market. Because what you don't want is that internally the farmers here in the Kurdistan region cannot compete with the foreign products. So, and that's why also, again, the Netherlands is supporting the region to try to educate, to teach the farmers how to make the best products.
That's great. I want to talk about the trainings that you provide for the farmers. Have you thought about opening a research center here to train the farmers, or the research that you have decided to open it? Can you think it will be a big help to the farmers to learn to be trained to protect the good quality of fruits and other vegetables?
Yes, we are talking about that, and some of the entrepreneurs and also the government, they're looking into that. And as the Netherlands, we are really trying to set up something like that, because without education, without training, you cannot be successful, because it seems that it is very easy to produce your own fruits or vegetables, but to make it a very professional and profitable business, you need trainings and you need education. And we are talking with the government, we are talking with businessmen here, how to push this a little bit further. Yeah, it was of course very sad. The Corona crisis and the suffering of the ISIS period. Um, Not only, of course, in the Kurdistan region, but the Corona crisis was everywhere. It was also in the Netherlands, and it affected a lot. Um, but now, luckily, it's improving, and of course, together with the Netherlands army, ISIS is defeated with the coalition. So we have to move forward, and of course we are very positive. And businessmen and farmers, they are also very positive, because we need to continue and we have to look into future. So what we are going to do for the coming months, for example, we did organize 2 missions from Kurdistan to the Netherlands. One mission was mainly governmental experts from the Ministry of Agriculture, for example. And as we speak, there is now a mission with businessmen, big businessmen from the Kurdistan region in the Netherlands, talking about agriculture and what we can do. But also, the end of this month, in November, there's the AgroPack. And as the Netherlands, we will have a Netherlands pavilion, so we will be active on AgroPack. And there are quite a lot of companies from the Netherlands who will be there. And in the meantime, we are also going to make a matchmaking event. And this matchmaking event, we try to connect Dutch businesses, companies from the Netherlands, with companies from the Kurdistan region. So that will be organized by the Netherlands Consulate General in the end of November. I think it will be on the 23rd of November.
Thank you. That's all good news. I wanted to ask my last question about the flowers. As I said, Holland is widely known for flowers, and it produces a lot of flowers. What can we do in Kurdistan region to be like, probably like Netherlands, to produce flowers, to be famous for flowers?
Yeah. Yes, that's of course we are very famous for flowers. If you visit the Netherlands and if you arrive there, you see everywhere flowers. But also here in Erbil, we have some flower shops with Dutch flowers. So every day, flowers from the Netherlands are flown to Erbil. But of course, that's quite expensive. And we are trying to support the Kurdistan region in looking if the flower business can also be profitable here, because it is quite difficult to produce flowers. Right? They need a certain amount of sunlight, they need a certain amount of water, mostly they're in glass houses. We're trying and we are looking into that. But I cannot promise you that you will be famous like the Netherlands for their flowers, but you have to start somewhere. So let's see if we can do that together with your government here in the Kurdistan region.
Thank you very much, Mr. Hans Akkerboom, General Consul of Netherlands in Arabic. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Zorspas.